This is the Patriots Drive Podcast.
We are all Patriots.
Where we discuss, analyze, and answer questions to all things happening in the NFL and with our New England Patriots. Now, here's your host, Cole Kelly.
Welcome into another edition of the Patriots Draft Podcast. Patriots get a huge win on the road Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills at their place. Improved to 9-4 on the year, 14-10 game. Wild game. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a game like that before in my life. The wind was crazy. The weather was clearly affecting the game in a big way. And Patriots ended up coming out on top after a tight one in Buffalo. So it was a huge win. Pats improved to 9-4. The Bills dropped to 7-5. That improves our chances of being the 1 seed and just at least winning the AFC East tremendously. So it was an absolutely huge game, and it was certainly a nail biter, a fun one to watch. Even if it was a lot of running the football, it was still certainly exciting, and it was a close game, kind of like we expected. But I think if we thought the weather was going to be exactly how it was, we probably would have predicted a little bit lower scoring. But I don't think either of us knew that it was going to actually end up being this crazy wins and affect the game this much. But I'm here with my co-host, Jace Gamble. How's it going, Jace?
It's going a lot better now that the Patriots, we got this game off our chest. We get the 1 seed. Pittsburgh takes care of business against Baltimore, helps us out a little, and we're firmly sitting at that 1 seed going into our bye week. So it was a crazy game. You said it. I don't think we'll ever see something like this again. I mean, the kickers before the game, they were reporting that that they don't feel comfortable kicking it anywhere outside of a PAT attempt, a field goal. And, you know, they come out there and Nick Folk hits them. Tyler Bass misses one. It was a crazy game, you know, conditions-wise, weather-wise. And for me, I know it might not have been the most exciting game, but I think this is the biggest statement win New England could have had. I mean, you go out there and you physically manhandle Buffalo. Physically manhandle them at their home field on Monday Night Football. Go for 222 rushing yards, and you don't even say, hey, I don't give a crap if you're going to put 9 guys in the box, put 10 guys in the box. We're still going to run the ball. And yeah, it was boring at times. Like, it was not the funnest game to watch, I'll admit, but I think that this is a huge statement win for them to go 1-4 in the red zone. New England's defense to hold up like that. Great plays all around, and the offensive line and the running backs to just keep gnawing away at it. It was just a physical game, and Buffalo wanted no part of it by the end of it. You could tell. I mean, they wanted to get out of there in the cold, especially just getting the ball ran down your throat time after time. That sucks. I've been in that situation in Utah with snow on the ground, probably not that cold and that windy, but when you can't stop anyone and it's cold, your helmet starts stiffening up because the pads are like a rock in there and you're just getting the ball shoved down your throat. I mean, it was just, for me, it was an impressive win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was, definitely not as exciting of a game for some people, but I love it. It was kind of back. I'm sure this was Belichick's favorite game of the year, playing like a Navy offense. I mean, this is what Belichick lives for, passing the ball 3 times a game. This is his bread and butter right here. So I'm sure he enjoyed getting a win like this and setting records. This was, let me see if I can find the stat real quick. The Patriots, let's see. The Patriots adjusted to the inclement weather and ran the ball on 94% of their plays, the highest run rate in a game this millennium. So that's Bill Belichick football right there, Navy football, Army football, that stuff. So that was certainly an interesting game, and it was a huge win, big statement win, beating them with only throwing the ball 3 times, just running the ball down their throat, even though Buffalo adjusted at some points and made some really nice plays and had a couple big stops. The Patriots still ran the ball for 222 yards, only passing yards, 19 yards, and they just did enough to win this football game. The defense played really great. They made the stops when they needed to. The wind played a factor. If N'Keal Harry didn't muff that punt, this game probably would have, 14-3, maybe 14 or more, 17-3. It really, that changed the game, and I'm just happy we came up with a W after a big mistake like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the situations right there that sucks the life right out of a team. But, you know, you make that mistake. You saw Matt go right up to him, tap him on the helmet. You saw the defense rally around him, and yeah, it sucked. I mean, that's probably going to be on both of our bad lists, but New England found a way to overcome it, and they didn't, dwell on it and make it last. So pretty clean game, honestly. Only one turnover for both sides. I would expect it a little bit more with the conditions, but the thing is if New England, they averaged 4.9 yards per play on the ground. They were averaging 4.8 yards per rush. We talked about it. Teams that can throw the ball down the field, they get antsy. And you kind of saw that with the Bills. Now, their running game was nowhere near as effective as New England's was today, consistently, but they wanted to get the ball down the field. They wanted Josh Allen to throw it. And Bill and Josh McDaniels just sat back there and said, we're fine. We're going to go on 8-9 minute drives and kick a field goal or score a touchdown, or even if we have to punt it and pin you at the 10, we don't think you can do that on our defense. It was just demoralizing watching it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, 2nd and 12, they'll probably pass it. Nope, run. Okay, 3rd and 9. I could see a pass here, right? Nope, run it. So that's the part of me where I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like we want to see Mac Jones go out there and put up these big numbers and New England dominate and stuff. But this was a game where it's just like whatever New England wanted to do running the ball wise, they did it. And Buffalo literally had to put 9-10 guys in the box at times and pretty much blitz every play to stop us. And it was still being effective. 4.8 yards per play. Harris and Ramondre Stevenson both had great effective days on the ground again. So it was a game that I don't think we'll ever see again.
No, I don't think so, unless we see that weather again. But not many teams are built to do that. I think maybe you could say the Titans would be a team like that, maybe, but there's no team that is built to do what the Patriots just did in that type of weather. They just being able to run the football that much and have a defense that can back you up. It was extremely impressive. And overall, there's just a couple things here. Like JC could have had a pick six. That would have changed things. Just the weather obviously affected the Bills just as much as affected us. Cause we had the Jake Bailey punt, which was terrible. The N'Keal Harry, it hit off his face mask. I'm not sure why he was out there in the first place. He's never been back for a punt in a single game this year, and that's when you throw him back there. I know Gunner was out there too, but it was just odd. But to see our running backs have success, and even when they knew we were running the football, it got to a certain point in the game after like midway through the second quarter when the wind was going with us and Max still wasn't throwing the ball. I was like, okay, we're going to run the ball 90-95% of the time. And that's what ended up happening, which is crazy to think about. I figured eventually they'd start letting Mac throw the football, but we just, hand it off. 3rd and 16, hand off. 3rd and 10, hand off. 3rd and 8, hand off. Like, no matter what the situation was, they were trusting the backs. And I got to give a lot of credit to Ramondre Stevenson. I thought he had a fantastic game. Damian Harris went out with an injury. He had that big run that really started the game open. Then we got the 2-point conversion, which was huge. But Ramondre overall, I'd say I feel like he had a better day outside of that one run. He had a better day than Damian Harris. He was consistently, he was breaking so many tackles and really making the Bills earn every yard, every tackle. He was a monster out there. I thought he played really good. Overall, his stats, he only ran 3.2 yards per carry. But if you think about when an entire defense knows what you're going to do and you're still breaking tackles and making plays, getting first downs, that's huge. It's so hard to stop. It's so hard to gain yards when a defense knows exactly what you're going to do. It's almost impossible in the NFL. And to pull it off and be a rookie and still be doing that and getting yards after contact and all that stuff, I thought he had a really impressive night. But overall, it was great to see the Patriots get a win in these conditions. This is kind of a game that you thought the weather conditions might favor the Patriots, and I don't really know if it did or it didn't. Diggs dropped the touchdown in the end zone because the wind was there. That was a great throw, by the way, in those conditions. But he dropped that. Bills missed a field goal. Overall, we made one critical mistake that gave them their only touchdown of the game. But just great to see this team play this type of football game and win it. That's one thing that I think we need to see is against a better rushing defense than the Titans had last week. We were successful, ran the ball, and against a good rushing defense, when they knew we were going to run the football, we still could run it enough and be efficient enough to win the football game. And if we can do that travels to the playoffs, that travels in any weather, no matter what, any conditions, defense and a running game travels. So it's great to see this performance tonight.
Yeah, at one point in the game, they had showed a stat that Ramondre Stevenson had 73 rushing yards, 50 of them after contact.
Yeah.
You talked about it. You guys don't take him down. If you don't wrap him up, you ain't going to get him down on the ground with one guy. And sometimes I feel like he's just like getting banged around, but he's just falling forward and running and getting extra and yards after contact. So he's been a great addition, especially after, they hit on it in the broadcast, right? Fumbling week 1, going in the doghouse, missing a pass protection or next time he comes in, 3 weeks later or whatever, goes back in the doghouse. Since then, part of this 7-game win streak since he's been playing, people, they've been talking about this tandem here, like they're a top 2 in the league. And yeah, they don't have one of these guys that can do things that Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, guys like that can do. But together, they're such a good 1-2 punch, and it's fun to watch. I wanted to pull up this clip of Damien Harris's touchdown, just show you. This is pretty much what you saw all night. Guys, this is all 22 players on the field in the box. You're going to have an extra tackle in Owenu, Jonnu Smith, Jakob Johnson, and N'Keal Harry. There is no one in America that thought this was a pass play right now. And if it was, that would have been a damn shocker. But no one thought that this would have been a pass play. You got all 11 of their defenders, too, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage outside of, the safety who's obviously playing deep. And then you're just going to see Damien Harris. You're going to get a little pin pull action from Isaiah Wynn and N'Keal Harry up top. Pause it real quick. You're going to get pin pulled. N'Keal Harry blocks down. Isaiah Wynn's able to come out. And then great job finding the free hitter by Jakob Johnson. And then Damien Harris honestly gets his foot in the ground and gets upfield, and no one's catching him after this. Puts his foot in the ground, runs behind the backers, boom, gone. 64 yards to the house. That got me fired up. And, when you break off one like that early in the game in the first quarter like that, you could tell that Bills fans are kind of like it took the wind out of them. They're like, oh, crap. Like, we thought we were going to come in. This was our game. We're the AFC East favorites now. No, you just came in and got, shell-shocked by the Patriots right away.
Got beat up.
And then after that, it was just chunk play after chunk play after chunk play, not resulting in many points, but still demoralizing the defense. And that defense played a total of 49 snaps. I think I saw 46 of them were run plays. I mean,
that's insane.
That's a physical game. You ask these guys tomorrow, I bet a lot of them are sore. So
for sure. And that's what's going to be nice is having a bye week after a physical running game like this. We're going to need a couple guys a little bit banged up. Damien Harris, hamstring. We'll get into that more in the injured section of this, but just overall, beating a team up like that and just playing the way we did, it was really fun to watch. And that's why, N'Keal had a great block on that play, and he was a key factor of why that run was successful. I was just praying there wasn't a holding call. I feel like every long run that we've had all year, it gets drawn back for holding. So I was a little bit nervous there, but that's why that N'Keal mistake was so big, is because it was a Damien Harris touchdown, then the 2-point conversion. It's like, okay, we're up 8-zip in a game that every point is going to be coming to premium. It's going to be very essential to this game because it's going to be incredibly tough to score in these conditions. So when you go up 8-zip after a big run like that, 67-yard run, then you get a stop on defense. You go to get your offense the ball back going into a quarter where you're going to have the wind at your back, the wind helping you. That's a lot of momentum. And then that one play happens, N'Keal fumbles, very next play, Buffalo scores a touchdown. It's like, oh, come on. It just flipped the script just like that. And then it was 8-7, back our ball. And it changed everything. But if that mistake doesn't happen, and we could have put our foots on their throats maybe and even controlled the game even more, because after that, worst case scenario, we punt it back to them and we would have had the wind at our back by the time that we would have punted. And then it sets them up in bad field position with the wind right in the face, and it's tough to score and tough to drive all the way down the field. We didn't see them do it really till late in the game. So great job on that block by N'Keal. Great cutback lane that the offensive line made for Damien Harris, and good job by him recognizing it. But then that big mistake by N'Keal Harry certainly cost the Patriots a touchdown there and a huge momentum swing after what could have been, you go up 8-zip and then you bring the ball down and even get a field goal after that with the wind at your back. That's extremely demoralizing in a game like this. So it was tough to see that momentum swing. That was really frustrating, but overall got the win, and that's what counts.
Yeah. And the first 3 drives first 2, and then the turnover, Buffalo starts at their own 48. So pretty much midfield. Then they come back after a 15-yard punt by Jake Bailey. They start at our 40, and then they start at the 25 after the touchdown, but then they punt it. We muff it. They get out of the 14, score next play. their average starting field position, those first 4 drives, was probably their own 35, if not 30, or sorry, our 35, if not their 30. And we only give up 7 points right there. Like, that's stellar defense. 3 and out first drive, 4 plays, and they get the fumble, Matt Breida on the second drive, and then the touchdown. But for the field position they were getting in the first quarter with how the wind was playing out, it was scary. I was like, because we couldn't throw the ball down the field. I mean, that was early in the game before we knew that
We couldn't
we
run it
were
really either.
yeah. I mean, we couldn't run it consistently outside of the touchdown. And I was like, oh gosh, we're gonna have to get something going in the second quarter, and then it stayed pretty much the same. But those first couple possessions that Buffalo had, the starting field position, I was getting a little nervous.
I was for sure as well. And you saw the stat. They popped up the stat multiple times, like the average starting field position for us and then Buffalo. And I was like, if this continues the whole game, it's not going to be a fun game, because this is usually, you see the Patriots on the other end of this, but we were on the wrong side of the field position battle, and that doesn't turn out well in close games like this. So being able to kind of flip that eventually and even things out a little bit more. Buffalo still had pretty good field position the whole game. Jake Bailey had a couple nice punts with the wind at his back, but that one muffed 15-yard punt, you hate to see that. That's a killer. And overall, the conditions just really messed with it. When he dropped the ball, he kind of hit it off the side of his foot. But it's just, I mean, honestly, getting a win like this in a tough, gritty game like this, and then having the bye week after, that's just, I'm extremely happy about that. My voice is getting a little bit scratchy from screaming too much tonight after a stressful game. But just getting the win. Number 1 seed in the AFC, number 1 seed in the AFC East. It feels great. Buffalo thought they were back on top, and we're certainly giving them a run for their money. So going into their place, getting a win in a game like this, physically dominant, was certainly nice to see.
For sure. Well, I know it's late, and your voice sounds shot. Mine's shot too. So let's get into the good, bad, and the injured. We'll kind of try to make this a little quicker for you guys, since it's a weird game and it's late, depending on if you're on the East Coast. Even on the West Coast, it's pretty late. But Cole, who's your first on the good list?
We touched on it, but Ramondre, I thought he had a great game. I thought he was key, and he got some real key first downs and started us out where sometimes the Bills had kind of locked in, and it looked like they were doing a good job stopping our rushing offense, or I guess our offense as a whole, because it was just a rushing offense, but they were doing a good job keying in on those run plays. And then all of a sudden, Ramondre would get us a great start to the drive on a first down, and then second down, he'd get a first down. And it's just, overall, he was certainly helped. If you're in 2nd and 10, if you're in 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 10 as a rushing team like that, we're just going to run the ball. That's huge. It makes a huge difference. Any 5-yard carry where the defense is all out blitzing for the run, they're expecting that, committing everybody. That's huge. So I thought he had a good game, even if his yards per carry don't necessarily show it. He carried the ball a ton. He had a lot on his plate, especially with Damien Harris going to the sideline, and I thought he performed really well tonight.
Yeah, both Damien Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. Obviously, Ramondre Stevenson got 14 more carries than Damien Harris with the injury he was battling, so he stands out there, what he did late in the game. I'm going to give mine to a defensive tackle. The last couple of weeks, we've been giving it to Christian Barmore, and this guy said, hold my beer, I'm going to one-up him. Devon Godchow has been a menace. 10 tackles, 6 solos. He was noticeably a game changer in the interior. Big part of why they only had 99 rushing yards. And even then, the 99 rushing yards for
20 of them came on one play with Allen, and then another 10 and another 10. And so
they're chunk plays, like consistently. You don't remember it. They had a one with, I think it was Zach Moss. But yeah, I'm going Devon Godchow. He held down that interior. He was incredible tonight, and a big part of the defense.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. That was going to be my next one right there. I'll switch it up to a more of a team stat, but just red zone efficiency as a defense, holding the Bills to 10 points total on the game, and some key stops there late in the game to force them to kick a field goal with the wind at their face, and they missed it. Thank goodness. And then coming up with the key stop late in the game. It's just a couple key stops in a row in the red zone to hold this team, keep the Pats with the lead, and they ended up getting the win. So that was one of the biggest parts of why we won this game is that red zone defense continues to be elite, and they really showed why they're playing so well right now.
Yes. That was a big stat. Even if they go 2 for 4 and that's a touchdown, lose the game. So that was big time. I'm gonna give mine to Jonnu Smith. No, just kidding. He was our leading receiver tonight.
That's insane. 1 catch, 12 yards.
It was a dang good catch too. So
it was a really, really nice catch.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give him a good because he only had 1 catch and he's the leading receiver. But
And he had a holding.
Yeah, he did. This guy, we talked about how can you fill Kyle Duggar's role? Who can do it? Adrian Phillips, give it to him. Hopefully he's okay too. We'll get to him on the injured, but he was incredible. Multiple PBUs, 5 tackles, all of them solos. Just great in the run game, great in the pass game. Very consistent guy. He's been very underrated all year and a huge part of this defense.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. He had a great game. He's been great all year. He was great all year last year. I really hope he's all right and it's nothing long term because this guy is a key part to this defense and we're going to miss him if he's out for a while. So we'll touch on that more if we get any updates. But another guy didn't really have a great game overall, but I have to put him on the good list for this one play in this situation. Miles Bryant, heck of a play coming off the route that, Cole Beasley might have been open for a touchdown there. And was he on Cole Beasley? I think so. And then
he was on Cole Beasley. It was thrown to Gabriel Davis. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And then he comes off Cole Beasley's route and tips it, breaks up the pass on 4th down. That might have been a touchdown if he didn't tip it. It was just heck of a play in that big situation, filling in with Adrian Phillips off the field. Somebody had to make a play. AP made a phenomenal play on that 3rd down on Dawson Knox. And it was a great play. And another key reason why we won this football game. If they would have scored there, they would have made it 16 or 17-14 and forced us to drive down the field with less than 2 minutes left and score a touchdown to win it or a field goal to tie it. And that's no guarantee in these conditions. So heck of a play in a key situation. Maybe not a great game overall, but that one big play was a big reason they won.
Yeah, that was a massive play coming off. And it looked like Gabriel Davis would have had to have gone down low to catch it. And who knows if he would have held on to it, but don't even leave it in doubt. Comes off and makes a great play. So I was thrilled to see him do that. A guy that we've talked about as of late, especially with the Jonathan Jones injury and coming up and making a big play. So I agree. I'm going to go for my last one here. I'm just going to put it on the whole offensive line. And I'm interested to see the snap counts, how many times we actually went with 6 offensive linemen.
I thought at one point in the game, I saw 54%, which was the highest since only 2019, which was odd. I was like, really 6 offensive linemen wasn't happened in 2019 that often, but I don't know what it ended up being at the end of the game. I would be really curious to see as well.
Yeah, see how many times Owinu was on there, and obvious rundowns, and I'm sure Jakob Johnson had a high snap count just because of our game plan. But I'm going to give it to all 6 offensive linemen and Jakob Johnson to get that run game going like we did after last week, kind of having it a little bit disappointing against Tennessee. Even though we get the win, and then you come out here, you go 46 rushing attempts, 222 yards, 4.8 yards per rush. Give it to everyone up there. Jakob Johnson, a guy that doesn't get enough recognition. He should have, a crazy good grade, I would think, on PFF when we look at that for all the snaps he had and picking up blockers or picking up linebackers on blocks. So I'm gonna give it to the 6 offensive linemen that played, and then Jakob Johnson can be thrown in there too.
Yep. I think that's a good one. My last one for me as well is Nick Folk. He only kicked 2 field goals, but he made them both, and that was obviously tough in this game with the weather conditions. So Mr. Consistent goes 2 for 2 and was another big part of why we won this game. He made the kicks when he had them and when they counted, and that's all you can ask from a guy, especially in these conditions. Even if he would have missed one, I wouldn't have blamed him. He almost missed one of them. It looked like it was sailing wide to his right or our left on the screen, but it's crazy how that ball moved in the air like that. When you kick it it was insane. I had never seen anything like that before, watching it before the game. And did you see any of the kicks from Kostowski in 2008 or whatever it was beforehand on Twitter or anything?
I didn't. I saw the one though that was played. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Oh,
he literally kicked it. It was like a 34-yarder, and it goes straight up, and it's kind of like comes back.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. I saw a few different ones. They were so throwing some videos out for some of the windiest games and the toughest kicks in those conditions. And some of them, one of them looked like it just hit a wall and just stopped, and the other one just flew to the right like 20 yards. It's like, how does the wind do that? It was crazy. So making those kicks in the conditions, even if you had the wind at your back, and that was certainly better than having it hit you in the face. It was still great kicks in a tough, close game. Every point mattered, and he was one of the differences in this game for sure.
Yeah, he's been on there all the time. This is, let's see, I found it right here. Let me pause it and pull it up. This is the one I saw before the game, and I don't know if this is how bad it was at game time, but it was noticeably, you could see them being here. So what, this is probably a 37-yarder, something within those. 34-yarder is what it says. You just see it go up and come back down.
Wow. I didn't see that one. That's insane.
This is in pregame, 34-yarder, and this is the type of conditions that you get right here. And it was crazy. And like I said, I mean, they did mention that the east end zone was a little rougher conditions than the west end zone, or vice versa, whichever one. So it was more favorable to kick into one.
Whoa.
But
I don't know what just happened there.
that was a little DJ right there spinning the remix.
There we go. If you wanna know how much this game means, I don't think you see this much emotion out of
This
Belichick
is
ever.
the most awkward father-son hug I think I've ever seen.
Hey, you know what? It's celebrating a win. Doesn't
You see
matter.
Steve's like, oh, I've never gotten a hug before, so let's get a high five. Oh, actually, okay, let's just do a side hug. Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, Dad, you're
Dad
hugging me?
approves.
Yes, let's go. I did a good job.
When I saw that, I was so happy because we had just stopped up, but then I was like, they show that, I was like, ooh, that was a little rough. There's gonna be some memes about that. So that's good.
Okay. So just want to give a quick update. Adrian Phillips just tweeted out 10 minutes ago, "Thank you, God," in all caps. So hopefully that means good news. Maybe it was just something minor. And I mean, even if he's out a few weeks, that's great news compared to, I thought for sure that meant torn ACL, torn something, and out for the year. Just based on, usually if you see an injury like that isn't caused by contact, a non-contact injury to the knee, that almost always means ACL, MCL, PCL, LCL, any of those ligaments in that knee. When you twist it weird, just walking, if you twist your knee weird, you can tear your ACL sometimes. It's crazy how it works. And so hopefully that's good news. That's the only update we'll probably get until Belichick has a press conference later in the week or whatever. But hopefully that means good news. And especially with a bye week coming up, gives extra rest for Damian Harris with his hamstring. Matt Judon, who kind of just said he got the wind knocked out of him, which is also good. I thought that was a leg injury for him as well, which was, it was a bunch of concerning injuries, but hopefully AP is okay. Hopefully all the players on the team are good. And that certainly seems like good news, even if we don't really know the news quite yet.
Yeah. So I did read, and I'm trying to scroll down and find this tweet to find out who exactly it was from. But I did read that, and it was from like a guy in the box at the game, but that they did do an ACL test on Adrian Phillips on the field. So they were at least checking for an ACL. So if that's what Adrian Phillips is tweeting at, that is very good news. Because there was a tweet out there from Mike. Mike rings in my head, but I don't know who it was.
No, he's one of the.
I think it began with guys. I think it began with a G.
Mike Giardi.
That might have been who it was.
There's Mike Garafolo, Mike Giardi.
Yeah, look up Mike. I don't even know how to spell. Oh, Mike Giardi, right? Oh, this is yep. That's exactly who it was.
Okay.
He said, let's see where it was. Now scrolling down. Okay, an hour ago, he said the Patriots medical staff just did an ACL test on Adrian Phillips. That's why he was down on the field. So he saw them doing a ACL test at least and checking it out. So, and then here's a stat he just tweeted out. The Patriots utilized 6 offensive linemen on 30 of 49 plays, 61%. So there's the stat we were just looking for right there. 61% of the times, 6 offensive linemen. And when you have 6 great offensive linemen like we do, that's big time. So that's cool.
That's a way to utilize that extra offensive lineman. It's a good problem to have. We've talked about it. It sucks that Onwenu has to sit on the bench, but good problem to have. I do want to add one more player to our good list, Dawson Knox. He was great for us tonight. I mean, dropped a bunch of passes right through his hands. He had like 1 or 2 plays, but overall he was really great for us tonight. Was certainly on our side, and had to throw that in there because he certainly helped us out tonight.
Yes, he was great. So let's get into the bad. First off, I just want to say I can't believe that they let kids watch this game. What Miles Bryant did to Josh Allen should be considered double homicide, and he should get 25 to life. So that's on my bad list right there. That they even allow. What are you doing, Roger Goodell? How do you even allow kids to watch this sport anymore? It's way too violent. It's nuts. So no, on a serious note, like that was a horrible call, phantom call. That I mean,
Ridiculous.
even the announcers were talking about it, but
And they didn't throw the flag till 10 seconds after. It's like,
I feel like it was more of a reaction where the refs were like, "Oh, the crowd wants it, the Bills want it." Boop, there you go. There's the flag. Like it was way too late. Should have just let it go. He jumped from inbounds. So
if they called every flag that the fans wanted, there'd be a flag every play from Buffalo. I mean, also, I need to throw this in there. I absolutely hate Sean McDermott already, but he makes me so angry. He made me first. I started disliking him so much when he was screaming at Steve Belichick and one of the Patriots' other coaches a couple years ago, saying they couldn't be on the sideline when they absolutely could. People talked about it after the game. Reporters and different social media people talked about it. They had every right to be on the field, and he just tried to kick him off because he hates the Patriots so much that he gets in his feelings, and he was freaking out on the officials all game. Along with Josh Allen, he was being a wimp. Every time he got hit or anytime anything happened, he was pointing at the ref saying, "Oh, what is this? Call it, call this, call that." It's like, you don't call every little thing. He got he threw the ball and got hit right after it, and immediately was like, "Oh,
it was by Barmore."
Yep. And then one on Judon as well. He wanted a call. He was whining for calls all game. So was Sean McDermott. I absolutely hate him.
But that was a prime example to me of, New England going out there and they wanted it. Buffalo was looking for, how can we get 15 yards? Oh, throw the flag, right? Like, no, New England's well coached. And I'm not saying Sean McDermott because I think he's a great coach, what he's done there. But New England went out there and they're like, hey, we're going to play our game. We don't care what the refs do. I mean, they got screwed on. They got two pretty bad calls. I thought the Hightower one was, it was 50-50. It could have been thrown. It was thrown, and I thought it could have been left too, but that's because I'm a Patriots fan. But
that Josh Allen one
was horrendous. And just seeing Bills players always there, like throwing up their hands, this and that. And what about the irony in Bills fans saying Patriots fans have been cheering and happy about Tre'Davious White being hurt. And then they proceed to boo Adrian Phillips when he's hurt. What does New England gain from having Adrian Phillips pretend like he's hurt after a timeout on a 4th and 17? There is no benefit of New England sitting there and doing that. There really isn't. So I thought that was such bad irony. I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, you were making yourselves look stupid.
I agree. And I don't know. I haven't seen any Patriots fans, not a single Patriots fan has said to me, thank goodness Tre'Davious White towards it. Like, nobody has encouraged that. I've had actually multiple people message me because I posted it on my story saying it sucks that Tre'Davious White is hurt. I hope gets well fast. You hate to see that in the NFL. At the end of the day, it's a game, and you don't like to see people's lives and careers put on the line with injuries like that. It's gross that somebody would cheer for that. So I had multiple people message me and say it really sucks that Tre'Davious White is out. It is a big loss for them, and maybe the Patriots can take advantage of the backup corner, but they're nobody's rooting for anybody to be injured. And the fact that they were booing after that and like booing him on the field, I mean, the guy just thought he tore his ACL and he's extremely upset and worried about it. And all you guys care about is to boo him on the field for no reason. Like, just it was just gross, honestly. And Bills fans can be great fans at times, or some of the most passionate fans in the NFL. But that was just disrespectful and honestly a bad look for Bills fans, because you never want to boo a guy on the field when he's hurt like that. Like, we would have gained absolutely nothing from him faking an injury or not. Like, it makes no difference. It hurt us worse that he was off the field, obviously. Like, he just made a huge play. Why would he be celebrating and then go down on the field and fake an injury? It doesn't make any sense. So
yeah,
that was gross. Again, the Josh Allen penalty call. He was in the air, jumping in the air. He was a runner at that point. It's not like, I mean, he wasn't sliding. He wasn't trying to go down. He was trying to get the first down. He was jumping in the air. You have every right to push him out of bounds. It's not like you can't touch him when he's in the air. So I thought they missed some big calls. And if you think about it, that was a free 15 yards for them. And then Tyler Bass, their kicker, made the field goal by a foot, 2 feet.
Yeah, it was
If they were
dang
15,
close.
if they were 15 yards back, that would have missed. That would hit the post, and that's another 3 points that the Bills had on the board. So I thought the officiating tonight was poor, and they threw some flags they really didn't need to.
Yeah, so I'm pulling up this play. I don't know if you saw the Kenny Pickett fake slide this week in college football for Pittsburgh. Have you seen it?
I did, and I hate that.
So this is what the NFL is coming to, and all football, honestly, is you get a quarterback. Let me find the better angle.
I
You
thought
get
that
a
was garbage.
quarterback. Yes, right? You're supposed to protect the quarterback. And I agree, right? We don't want to see targeting penalties. But when you get a quarterback now that can run down the field like this and the defense will stop because he fake slides right here, whoop, and then can run, this is what you're getting. And now you're going to start getting guys in college football that are like, oh, is he sliding? Is he not? You're going to get targeting. So, I get the protecting the quarterback thing and to an extent, but when stuff like that starts getting pulled out, what happens when Josh Allen now doesn't jump out of bounds and we leave him and he runs for a touchdown? Like if he's out of bounds, he's out of bounds. It's a flag. If he's in bounds and he wants to jump, he's free game. Let us hit him. That's how it is. That's his choice to run. We don't protect running backs. Josh Allen's a big boy. Okay. He's fine. He might be more capable than some running backs in the league, and we let us smack the crap out of him. So yeah, that stupid call was ridiculous. So
You can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. If you're going to allow people to fake slide like that, then you can't get pissed off when somebody smacks the crap out of a quarterback when he's going down to slide because they don't know if he's sliding or not. You can't have it both ways. You either need to, if you're going down into a slide, and even if you end up fake sliding, if you're going, as soon as you go down like you're going to slide, you should be down, because if you start letting people fake slide, it's going to ruin the game. It's going to make defenders have no idea. They're going to start targeting quarterbacks because they're going to be like, I don't know if he's faking it or not. I got to go after him. And they're not going to be able to move at the last second. I think that needs to be addressed quickly in college football and in the NFL, because you can't allow that to happen. You can't have it both ways.
you're going to see Lamar. You're going to see Lamar try that soon, or something.
If you're going to let Lamar and you're going to let these guys who can run like this fake slide like that and get touchdowns, that's a big difference in a game. And you can't be upset if next time Lamar goes down to slide and he gets absolutely smacked because they didn't know if he was going to fake slide or not. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that should happen, but you shouldn't be allowed to fake slide. They're protecting you for a reason. You can't abuse the power of being protected as a quarterback and use it to your advantage and run for a touchdown after a fake slide when the whole defense stops because they think, okay, he's sliding, I can't touch him. And then he fakes it and just sprints by you. It's like, that was baloney, to be honest. I thought it was a cool play to see. And it was like, oh, but then I was like, that should not be allowed. That was garbage.
Someone's going to abuse the rule now on defense. So let's get into it. So I don't know if I really gave my bad one. Obviously, N'Keal Harry, we can kind of talk about that. I'm going to go third down.
The officiating thing. That was what you mentioned first.
Oh, yeah. That's one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into a more serious one. I'm going to go into third down efficiency, 2 for 12 on third downs for how well we ran the ball. And yeah, I get it. Like, we were in a lot of 3rd and 9s and we just decided to run the ball. But I would have liked to have seen those 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 5s that we had and still ran the ball get converted and extend some of those drives. So 2 for 12 is not a good look on third down. But then when you look and say we only passed it 3 times, and I think one of them was on third down, it was the screen pass, it's a little acceptable. But still, 2 for 12 on third down. I know we had multiple 3rd and manageables that we could have gotten with the run.
I'm going to throw N'Keal on there just because that one play really cost us. One guy I wanted to throw on my good list was JC Jackson. He did his part, and I don't think we were kind of talking about how this was a game that was kind of going to determine how much of a bag he got next year, but it's going to be in New England when the weather's good and they can throw the ball. That's going to really determine it. But I thought he played solid tonight, and Kyle Van Noy had a couple key plays. He did a great job setting the edge a few times, and then he had a big pass deflection. He jumped up and did his thing that he's been doing all year and swatted the ball down. So he did good. I know we're on the bad list now, but I forgot a couple of those names now that I'm looking at it. But I'm going to throw N'Keal Harry on there. Jake Bailey, I don't want to throw on the bad because you got to feel bad for the conditions. So I'm not going to put him on the bad, but he was certainly obviously not as good as normal, but you can understand that for the conditions. But N'Keal, that mistake is unacceptable. I kind of blame it.
Jake Bailey still, sorry, Jake Bailey still averaged 42 yards per punt, But yeah,
after a 15-yard punt.
That 15-yarder, and he had one touchback, one inside the 20. So his numbers are good, but yeah, the first 2 punts, honestly, I mean, the first one still wasn't very great, and then the second one moves on him and he shinks it. But I could agree putting Jake Bailey on there just because we don't see that from him a lot. And this is kind of a, outlier of a game where these conditions have not been seen in years before. These are crazy wins and stuff. So I can see him being on there and then see him not being on there. But I think that where Patriots fans are used to seeing him,
I'd like to cut him a little slack that's impossible conditions to expect somebody to perform in. And if he would have had none of those punts, he would have been on the good list for dominating the conditions. So I don't want to throw him on the bad list, but I do want to mention a couple things there. But it's hard to crap on him because if it was me out there, it probably would have been a 3-yard punt. You know what I mean? It might have even been a negative yard punt. I don't know. So it might have been a touchback the other way. So I don't want to crap on him too much for that. But Nikhil, definitely that was one big mistake. And after that, I don't really have a lot on the bad list.
I don't. There were a couple times, and this is just the greatness of Josh. I don't want to say greatness, but the talent of Josh Allen. There were a couple times that we should have had him as sacks that we let him get out. But I'm not going to put that on the bad list. But I'm just saying, like, we had 2 sacks for negative 14 yards loss. We could have had 4, 5 sacks on there and maybe had 30, 40 yards lost. So there were a couple times I would have liked to have seen Van Noy on that one, wrap him up.
Dietrich Wise late.
The Dietrich Wise, the high tower, that one was the same one. There was one too where he drops back and we collapse the pocket and somehow he squeaks out and gets a 2-yard gain. I would have liked to have seen. There were opportunities to get more sacks, not that we needed them, but there were opportunities to get more sacks and we missed them.
Yeah, for sure. So that I guess that'd be one thing as well, is kind of wrapping up and making the plays that are there guaranteed to you. But overall, I thought we did a pretty solid job. And kind of touching on Josh Allen again I don't remember if it was the last drive or the second to last drive where they missed the field goal, but late in that game, he still was trying to push the ball down the field, and it was kind of costing him. If he would have kept chipping down the field, he couldn't stay patient enough. He had Emmanuel Sanders. I remember vividly on one play, Emmanuel Sanders was wide open running like 5 to 7 yards down the field, running a crosser. You hit him, that's probably 12-yard gain, at least an 8-yard gain, and you're putting yourself ahead of the sticks. But he tried to sling it down the field. It was incomplete, and then you're 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10 or whatever it was. So the easy plays are there in front of you. If that was Mac, I guarantee he probably would have thrown it right to Emmanuel Sanders and got the guaranteed yards and kind of just methodically moved down the field. But he was trying to chase the big play still, and in those conditions, you got to take what's given to you. You already have been struggling with that this year, but in those conditions, in those circumstances, you have to take what is given to you.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have any more on the bad list or?
No, not really. Yeah. I agree with the ones you said. The 3rd down efficiency wasn't great, but it was also, we were running the football. And when you only run the football, it's hard to get 3rd and long. It's hard to convert that. So I guess, geez, my voice. I guess the 4th down conversion I'd put as a good. I don't really know why he challenged that. There was no way they were going to reverse that. If they reversed that, I would have been pissed because there was no angle you could see anything at all. So that was kind of questionable for me.
Yeah. My last bad is going to be you for not having any confidence in projecting that the Bills would win this game. That's my last bad.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I predicted the Patriots to win this game 14-10. You said Bills 48-3. So, I mean, we can run back the tape. We'll show it next episode.
Everyone go watch the Bills pregame one to see if that's, the truth or a big pile of bull crap, because that's what it is. So let's move on. Injured. We already hit on it. Adrian Phillips. Hopefully no official report, but hopefully missed a big time injury. Damian Harris was out with his hamstring injury. Kyle Duggar on the COVID list with the bye. That's going to be no problem. Jamie Collins, it was good to see him back. Good to see a couple other guys back, but anything else on the injured?
Nope. Duggar obviously didn't play today, and so he should be good to go after the bye. Same with JJ Taylor. Jamie Collins was back. That was good, but just Adrian Phillips, Judon had that scare. Damian Harris with the hamstring. That's something that's a little bit of concern even after the bye week because they tend to linger. So our running back depth is getting thin. You got Ramondre and Brandon Bolden and JJ Taylor. So hopefully he's not out too long. Hopefully it's just minor. He did go back in the game, but you could clearly see he wasn't ready to play. So hopefully he recovers quick from that because we're certainly going to need him coming up. We got a big game against Indy after and then Buffalo again. So couple tough games coming up, but this team is really showed some grit and some fight, and the next man up. Good thing we got Ramondre playing how he's playing, because he's doing big things for us right now. But Sonny Michel, James White, both not on the team anymore, so the running back position, we can't really afford any injuries long term. So hopefully he heals up quick from that. But other than that, not really any major injuries, which is good. Also, Jaylen Mills, somebody just tweeted, pretty sure Jaylen Mills didn't allow a catch after that touchdown. And Jaylen Mills replied back, he didn't, but he's got to be better on that play in the red zone. Great team win. So Jaylen Mills, I guess, I mean, I don't think necessarily on the good list. He allowed the only touchdown in the game, but for the Bills. But overall, the secondary, the defense as a whole, they played a really solid game and took advantage of the conditions for sure.
Yeah, and I hope that Damian Harris can get healthy and get back against the Colts after the bye week. But if not, the last time he was out against Cleveland, Ramondre Stevenson, 20 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe it or not, I don't think New England's gonna only throw it 3 times against the Colts. I don't think that they're gonna try that strategy again, even though it worked. I would think that they're gonna cook something up over the bye week and get back to Mac throwing it 20 plus times.
I hope we both had the under on Mac's passing yards. I'm pretty sure we did.
I hope so, because this will be really embarrassing if one of us had the over. So,
I hope we both did. I'm pretty sure I said a lot of unders. But the score we both had over though. And before the game, I almost texted you and was like, I'd like to change it. I think we would both like to change it to under, but we already made the picks, and it was what it was. It's not. I mean, it's not a big deal. So that was one thing. And then I just wanted to comment more of my Sean McDermott hate real quick. His passion for hating the Patriots and his anger, the way he gets out of control, I thought he really mismanaged the challenge flag along with multiple timeouts, took him at inconvenient times, and it kind of cost the Bills in the end. Maybe they would have had more time on the clock there after the Patriots and knelt it and kneel the ball and whatever. So I thought seeing him get angry, get upset with the officials, freaking out, I think it kind of gets in his head when he plays the Patriots sometimes. I do think he is a good coach, even though I hate those words coming out of my mouth, because I don't hate any coach in the NFL more than Sean McDermott right now. So I hate to say that, but overall, I think that the Patriots, he hates them to such a high level that he kind of gets in a different headspace and kind of makes some not as smart decisions later in the football games if he's down to the Pats. So that was one good thing, is if we can get ahead next time we play the Bills and stay in McDermott's head, I think that's going to be a plus for us and will help us later in the game, because he certainly mismanaged a couple things.
Yeah, I don't know whose fault it was, that last injury that they had. That was they didn't have a timeout, so they take an excess timeout, reset the play clock to 40, or play clock to 40. And
I was freaking out because I thought they were going to let it go. I saw the clock stop. I was like, what's going on? The play clock's running, but the clock isn't. I thought that was going to screw us. And
I have no clue whose fault that was, but Sean McDermott looked like he's about to blow a gasket at someone on the sidelines, whether they told him to go down and fake an injury or something, thinking they had a timeout and they could stop the clock or not, but he looked pissed. So that was kind of enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, for sure. It was just seeing him consistently. I mean, just for the entire Bills team, all game was just give us a call. Like, no, it was just getting frustrating to watch. Like, just because you're at your home place and it's a big game doesn't mean you can just whine at the officials all game and get calls. But it worked for them once in a big situation, so I guess they wanted to continue to try it. But Belichick also was quite upset a couple times at some of the calls, and he was giving the officials an earful as well. But it was overall great to get a win in Buffalo. 9-4 on the year, number 1 seed in the AFC, along with the AFC East, obviously. Great win, puts you a couple games ahead of the Bills, and we got half a game of separation on the rest of the conference. So still a long way to go. We still got this bye week, and then we got Indy on the road, Bills at home, Jaguars at home, Miami on the road to close out the year. So we got 4 big games left. The Miami game is going to be tougher than we would have thought 6 weeks ago. Jaguars should be fine, and the Bills and Indy are going to be tough. So we got probably 3 tough games and hopefully 1 easy one left on the schedule. So if we win 3 out of 4, that looks pretty good for being the 1 seed. And that's crazy to think. If you would have asked me when we were 2-4, if that we would have had a chance to be the 1 seed in the AFC, I mean, I never would have believed you. So just the fact that we're doing this in Mac's first year back of the Cam Newton era, and getting our defenders back, our defense is playing well, even missing some pieces. It's incredible. So this team is so fun to watch right now. I hope they keep playing the way they're playing, because they honestly have a chance to go far in the playoffs. And I never thought that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, 6-0 on the road is something that should
Road
not
dogs.
be taken lightly. The Road Dogs. Let's keep riding this out and keep defending home field.
Are you saying we should purposely lose and not be the 1 seed so we play on the road the whole playoffs?
No, I don't think that's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
All right. Well, you never know. I was just asking.
No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. But if that's what's going to get us to a Super Bowl, I could care less. So, no. You look at the
Brady did it last year.
4 games that we dropped at home. They all were winnable. The only one I look back on and say they're
Saints.
The Saints, and which blows my mind because we're a way better team than the Saints are. We just weren't playing like it. But you could have taken one against the Dolphins, fumble. The Cowboys one, we all know what happened there. The Bucks one, miss a field goal, played great. Like those 4 wins, right? Those 4 right there. Even if you win 1, if you win 2 and you're sitting at 11-2 right now, or 10-3 right now, it's crazy what this team could be at. But we're where we are. I'm excited to see where it's going after the bye week and, into the playoffs.
Imagine how angry Bills fans would be next week if they, first off, last year and before the season, all of them saying we're running this division for the next 20 years, blah, 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 losing to the Patriots at home. And then the very next week going and playing Tom Brady and losing to Tom Brady without the Patriots. Like how horrible would that be to be a Bills fan and say, we just lost the Tom Brady-less Patriots, and then we just lost to Tom Brady the next week. Like how much more torture can we have? And then they'd come back and play us the next week. Or no, we play the Colts, but a couple weeks later, and then play the Patriots again. So that would be horrible to be a Bills fan if they lose to the Bucks tomorrow. That's got to be a mental issue for them with just processing what just happened. And Brady's gone, we're happy. The Patriots just beat us, and then Brady just beat us the next week. So that's gonna be tough on Bills fans.
Well, Brady has his best record all time against the Bills, 32 wins, 3 losses. We need him to help us again, make some separation on our bye week, let them go to 7-6.
The Dolphins might be more of a threat than the Bills. If we beat the Bills again, the Dolphins are going to be a bigger threat.
The Dolphins might sneak into the wild card. Yep.
They might. They're playing well, which is
we'll see.
Great, but
we can cheer for Brady. Patriots on a bye, go cheer for Brady to beat the Bills.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Cheering for Brady, and then I don't know the other games next week, but for sure cheering for Brady next week.
Yeah, let's see, it's week 14.
Chiefs place. We should root against the Chiefs, root against the Titans.
Always root against the Chiefs.
Always, yeah. Root against the
Titans,
root against the Bills.
And then the other one's the Ravens. The Ravens play the Browns in Cleveland.
Okay, so they're going to win that.
The Chiefs play the Raiders, which
the Chiefs are going to win that.
Hopefully. And then the Titans play the Jaguars.
Okay, so it looks like, that's not great. That's not a great rooting guide this week. Looks like most of the teams we're going to root for are probably going to win. Root for are probably going to lose. So that's not great. But, hey, we control our own destiny at this point. We went out. We're the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yep.
It's simple as that. So
it's simple. We control our own destiny.
Which is better than we could have said beginning of the year. 2-4, we were planning out all these different scenarios, how we could sneak in the playoffs. If this team loses and this team loses and this team loses and we win and this team loses, then we'll be the 7th. You know what I mean? And now we're in a situation where we're playing out, hey, if we just do our jobs week to week, win one game at a time, we could be the 1 seed in the AFC, have a bye, and have a great chance to host an AFC championship game at Foxborough the year after Brady leaves, or the year after the first year of Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just incredible. Honestly, being a Pats fan right now is extremely fun, and the future looks extremely bright, and it's great. Great team win. Great win against the Bills in Buffalo. Couldn't have had a better night after this win, and it's great to see. So that's it for me. You got anything else?
I'm trying to find this one meme that I saw, and now I don't know where it is, but it was so funny. It was a picture after we had signed Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and it was them cropped into a Patriots jersey, surrounded by Cam Newton. And it said, if you didn't cheer for us at 7-8, don't cheer for us at 8-8 or 8-9 or whatever. Or 7-9, don't cheer for us at 8-9.
Yeah.
And it was tweeted by Freezing Cold Takes, Old Takes Exposed, stuff like that. And it was just funny, right?
I love that.
Like,
I love seeing that.
You went out and spent all this money. You're okay. Enjoy 8 and 9. It's like, we just passed 8 wins and we still have 4 games to go. So thanks for that.
And I didn't expect us to be this good. My record prediction this year was 10-7. And we're 9-4 right now. I didn't think we would be as good as we are right now at this point in the year. Yeah. And especially after starting 2-4, I didn't know if we'd get to 9 wins at all. The way we were playing football, I don't know. I don't know what changed, but we turned it around, and it turned around fast, and it's great to watch. This team playing meaningful football in December is great. I think you predicted 11 wins, so you're probably going to be right on the money. It's we're probably going to end up with 11 wins, hopefully 12, hopefully 13. But I think if we get 12 wins, we secure probably the 1 seed in the AFC, which is great to see. So some of those other top seeds that we're contending with right now have a couple tough games. Bills play the Bucs. I know the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs play. They already play the Bucs. Oh,
the Chiefs have to play the Chargers, which is always tough.
Oh, Raiders, Chargers, Steelers, Bengals, Broncos. Okay, so
Broncos.
Maybe all right. So maybe the Chiefs win out.
And the thing is the Bengals can be a good team. I mean, they're capable.
Chargers at time. It's
Chargers. Yeah.
Those two teams are so streaky.
Mm-hmm. And then you look at the Ravens, which
I've
never really been. Yeah. But they play the Packers. They play the Bengals again. They play the Rams. They play the Steelers, who they just lost to. So
I'm not worried about the Ravens. My number one concern is the Chiefs right now for the 1 seed. Titans, I think, they still have a cakewalk of a schedule. Jaguars, then the Steelers, then the Niners. Okay, Dolphins, Texans. So Niners, Dolphins will be tough-ish games for them. They should still win both those, but and we'll get into this more, but I think we should do a top 5 list of teams we're most concerned about in the playoffs. We'll do that this week during the bye week, and we'll have some different fun stuff for you guys planned out, different maybe stats predictions or recapping some of our early predictions and seeing where they're at this time in the year. So we'll have some type of different episode for you guys this week, and then we'll have the probably the Sunday off, and then have a pregame show for you guys next week. But meaningful football in December, nothing better. Bye week, number 1 seed in the AFC. We're guaranteed to be that going into the week against Indianapolis. So nothing better than that. But you got anything else?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that's it for us tonight, guys. Patriots, again, beat the Bills 14-10, improved to 9-4 on the year. Number 1 seed in the AFC, like we said, and nothing better than beating the Bills. That's a good feeling, getting that gross taste out of our mouth from last year, losing 2 straight, losing that one in Buffalo that we felt like we should have won with Cam fumbling, and then getting just blown out at home. That was tough. So got to handle business, get healthy on the bye week, get some rest, enjoy it. Hopefully you guys can enjoy some of the college football games and then the NFL and relax for a weekend, stress-free from the Patriots playing, and then get right back into it. So until then, we will see you guys Wednesday or Thursday.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with all things New England Patriots. Make sure you tune in to the next episode and check out patriotsdrive.com for more great content.
We're on to Cincinnati.